Talk just a little bit less.
Cushy.
Zolak and Bertrand, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
I don't love this. Welcome in. It's Monday on Zolak and Bertrand from our Town Fair Tire Studios. Stunning thing happened on Saturday night at TD Garden, and that is the Celtics choked away a 3-1 series lead and lost to the Philadelphia 76ers. A quick question before we get into some of the specifics, and this is for everybody in the audience. Are you having a problem processing that this happened? Because I am.
Saturday, yes. Friday, no.
What?
Saturday, yes. Friday, no.
What did Friday have to do?
Bruins got eliminated. Celtics.
I'm talking about the Celtics, though. Just the fact, I don't know that it's actually set in yet that they did, in fact, blow this series. And I'm not saying that to be funny or mock it. No.
Was it Washburn that had
the game ended on Saturday night. I was like, oh, okay. All right. And it didn't really sink in and hit me how badly they had blown this thing. And I'm not sure it still has.
I think they were okay with it, which makes me sick. And I know they're all friends in the NBA. But that post-game crap, dapping each other up, hugging each other twice, whispering in your ear, whispering in my ear, Tatum in street clothes, hugging everyone with his stiff knee. Oh, phones are open if I'm Brad Stevens. And Washburn on everybody. Everybody. He could have played second series, he said. He did say that right at the podium. I wasn't like half asleep when I heard this. Stiffened up. Stiff, but, could have played next series. That's game 7 at home. Charlie McAvoy broke his hand in game 2. Played 4 more games. I know it's a different sport. Don't call me stupid. But I expect a little bit out of your superstars. I really do. I expect them to push it. The guy pushed it all year to come back from an Achilles. You had him all series, and all of a sudden in game 7, when the head coach the day before said he's playing tomorrow. I'm not wrong here, right? I'm timelining it because you're having a tough time processing it.
I told you I didn't believe him.
I'm helping you process it.
I mean, I told you right out of the gate on Friday. I don't believe
you called it.
I said, and they should be prepared to play without Jayson Tatum.
I looked at you like you had 3 heads.
Well, I got one.
Did we just dismiss it? We dismissed this comment.
One head, one brain. Right again. I'm on a heater, by the way. Freaking heater. So when you're hot, boys. I'm on one right now. Yeah, I had a bad feeling about that.
You green people should be angry. You should.
Are you angry at Tatum that he didn't play?
Yeah.
I'm not.
No.
I'm not. I think it would have been malpractice. It would have been malpractice if they let him play in that game, and it would have been malpractice if they let him play in the second series if the same thing lingered and continued. You cannot play him.
How does the coach say he's playing Friday, he doesn't play, and then he goes to the podium and says, I can play?
Well, I'm going to use Joe's words against him. He's not a doctor. He's not. I'm going to use it in defense of Joe. He's not a doctor, as he's told us so many times. He doesn't even talk to those guys.
I think Joe misjudged him. Misjudged the situation.
I think Joe may have assumed that Tatum was going to find a way to fake his way through it. With the doctors? No, I feel great. I feel fine. And he, didn't. I don't know. Maybe that's a possibility. Or he felt really good on Friday and didn't feel good on Saturday.
Great ones do it. Sorry, great ones do it.
So he just blew out his Achilles a year ago, and it's the calf. It's the tight calf, and if he blows it out again, now we're doing the same thing again next year.
And it's a compensation injury of the other leg. He should not have played. They should not have let him play, which is what I think they all probably agreed on by the time that game 7 day of Saturday morning or Saturday midday rolled around. And they said, this can't happen. You can't play. You shouldn't want to play. And I think to question him after
how dare I?
He just went through the rehab to get back.
Which I
like if you're talking
the
about his desire to play, he clearly has a strong desire to play. And this is, to me, not the issue of why they lost the game. Do they win the game if Jayson Tatum plays? Do you know that? Do you definitively believe that?
No, but I think they have a better shot.
I would agree.
I mean, the other guy who I think is a huge, just lazy. I don't want to say a bad word, meaning Embiid. That guy was on an operating table a couple days ago.
Didn't look so lazy in this series.
He comes back and he looks like he killed you. Like you had no answer for him. A guy that had his appendix out.
I'm going to tell you that.
He's probably going to miss the series. Sucked it up and played because his team needed him.
If Tatum plays, I think they win. But I think all their problems still exist.
That's fine. But
all of their issues are still there.
Having some fun against the Knicks.
I do. I think it would have been enough to get a couple of more baskets in that game.
I'm glad you said that.
And be on the right side of it. Good. But don't tell me they didn't have enough on the floor to win that game. Don't tell me that because they
hit your last 3 shots.
Because they did. They had enough on the floor to win the game. Even with the gap year lineup, Jaylen Brown, you had your gap year lineup and you lost. Did he have a gap year tweet, by the way? I was wondering if I was looking for that. I was looking for the gap year.
I think he went on.
He streamed last night.
Stretch.
Did he?
Yeah.
He streamed?
Yeah, streamed last night. That the refs are out to get him.
Oh, of course. Yeah. No. Let's blame the refs. He was I think it was a minus 66 combined over the last 3 games of this series. Is that what he was? I think it was 66 was the number. He also had the ball in his hands with multiple chances to take the lead with under 5 minutes to play and failed miserably. It was there for the taking for him and that team.
Yes, fact.
And they just crapped it away at the end. They had themselves in a position to win that game in the final minutes.
Multiple possessions.
And they wilted is what they did. All of them, including Jaylen Brown, your MVP candidate. Surely did not look like an MVP on Saturday night.
Never said he did.
So to me, it's not about Tatum not playing. Tatum should not have played.
Oh, I think it's a story from Saturday. I think that's your shock and awe story everywhere you went Saturday. What do you mean Tatum's not playing? What do you mean Tatum's not? How's Tatum not playing? It's knee stiffness. They would have been better off saying it was his calf. Seriously. Because it's the calf that affects Achilles. He was playing, 35 minutes prior to it. They were using the hell out of him.
Isn't that a second guess right there?
Yes.
Why are we playing Jayson Tatum 40-plus minutes a night when he says that one of his calves is 85% of the other one? In terms of what? Well, so why are we now running him into the ground?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the team is to blame for a lot of things, and that's one of those things on the list. They played him too much. They pushed him too hard. They did not continue to be very aware of his minutes and his usage. They thought he's back. He's great. He looked good. I mean, let's not pretend he returned to form. He became Jayson Tatum again, and that just, I don't know, allowed the team to lose sight of the fact that he's still making his way back and still needs to be taken care of from a minutes perspective to remain healthy enough to continue to play. And he was not going to be ready to go on a deep playoff run. And I'm telling you, if they made it through on Saturday night, they'd be shutting down Tatum indefinitely. He would not be playing in the next series. He can say that, but I'm not sure that it's true. And I know that they had enough on the floor to win the game on Saturday, and that it's not about Tatum not playing. And I know that Tatum was on the floor the previous 2 games, and they lost. And so can you definitively prove they would have won? No, I think they would have won. I think they would have had a couple more buckets in there to put them on the right side of that thing in a Game 7. But so much went wrong. So much went wrong in that game on Saturday night. And the Celtics and Joe Mazzulla, and I'm going to throw Brad Stevens in there, remain inflexible, is what I will say. That's what they remain with how they approach offense. So I know there's plenty to get to on that. Jaylen Brown in the aftermath, still pissed off about the referees, somehow thinking that this is his favorite year. It's his favorite year, and he hates the refs. A first-round historic collapse for the Boston Celtics. They did something they've never done before on Saturday night. And I think it's only going to bring more questions than answers in the coming months as to how the hell they're going to fix this thing. Also heard something from a fan on the street interview on Saturday night, right after the game on one of the, I think it was NBC 10.
Jamelli?
And there was a fan coming out of the Garden who got interviewed and said, I'm just so disappointed because this team should have won more titles. Past tense. Should have won more titles.
Just saying, this is like the Bergeron, Krejci, Chara, Tuca Bruins.
And I thought,
Marchand
should have. Wait, is it over? Maybe it is. Maybe this version of the Celtics is over.
I laughed at that article a week ago, shuffling around some furniture. Major shuffling of furniture.
Yeah. Moving the furniture. Will they be moving furniture? That, of course, is
Tia Van Lines is down there.
And your pissed off, angry phone calls about the Celtics. That's all coming up. Stay tuned.
If you need your Boston sports fix, we're here.
You see it from the rear angle?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Zolak Bertrand, the Sports Hub.
And this group is a special group. I'm so proud of this group and the way we played. I wish we trusted that style of play a little bit more, but I know playoffs kind of shifted our rotations and what we wanted to do. But I'm so proud, and it was my favorite year of my basketball career. One, streaming with you guys, chat, was awesome. Like, being able to talk to y'all was like therapy every single day. You know what I mean? I mean, not every day, like once a week or whatever, what I was doing. Just to be able to get on here and give y'all the perspective and kind of, because, you know, these narratives be going left and right, just to hear it from the horse's mouth. But then also being able to just be a part of a group that just, through the uncertainty, came to fight and came to compete and came and went to war. I'll take a team like that any day of the week.
What's the really bad stuff from this Twitch that he did? That's not it. I don't hear anything bad there. I don't hear anything worth mocking or making fun of there. What was the bad stuff? You got any of the bad stuff? Is there something more? I just see a lot of the buzz.
Is that MySpace?
It's Twitch.
Oh.
It's
some
Twitch.
referees that if I had to choose, if I had to like say there's some referees that need to be investigated, like just overall out of all the officiating, we had 3 of them in the last 3 games. We have, you know, at top of my list.
Got to be honest with you. I'd rather just talk about Jaylen Brown's poor performance than talk about his Twitch. I'd rather talk about the fact that all year, you know, this person with good reason was an MVP candidate and carried his team. Why couldn't he do it here?
But I'm so proud, and it was my favorite year.
I don't know why it would be your favorite year, but other than individually, you got a lot of respect, more than you'd ever gotten before. So I guess that is what you value. If that's what you value over winning a Game 7, then so be it. But why couldn't you show up in the Game 7? Why couldn't he have played better in Game 7? Why didn't he play better down the stretch in the most clutch possibilities? Like, he was on. They had them right where they wanted them in the fourth quarter. And the opportunity to win was served to him on a silver platter. And he missed 2 shots before Peyton Pritchard went back to chucking threes. It was a good look.
It was a great look.
That was a good look by Pritchard, but clang. They weren't hitting their shots late. They took a million threes. And then after that, everybody fell apart. So where was the leadership in that moment? Where was the calming presence in that moment? It didn't come from the coach, and it didn't come from the best player on the court because they didn't have it. Because then following that, you saw Sam Hauser take one of the more ill-advised threes I've ever seen. Like, just complete panic, just start chucking. Let's just start chucking it. They had zero composure down the stretch in that game, in a Game 7 at home. And that guy was on the floor. So what happened? What happened to the MVP? We're going to blame the refs for that? We're going to blame the refs for missing all those shots?
I didn't one bitch against the refs.
What is he doing?
Well, no, so I'm with you on this, and that's one of the things. Scal even brought this up post-game following Game 7 over on NBC Sports Boston, where he talked about everyone saying that the series flipped when Joel Embiid got here. And to some extent, yes, it did, right? But it's also easy to just say, oh, well, Embiid showed up and the series flipped and not take any accountability for the way that the Celtics played. Similar to saying the refs or Joel Embiid flopped a lot in Game 7, and that's kind of where we wound. Okay, but we need also to look in the mirror and evaluate, how did you just blow a 3-1 series lead?
We had 3-1 lead. We just thought we just thought we were going to roll the ball out and we were going to win.
Yes, a lot easier to look and say, oh, you know what, the Sixers, the refs, all this stuff, when it's like, wait a second, you guys were the 2 seed, and you blew a 3-1 series lead to this team, so how did that happen? And take some accountability for what just went down, an embarrassing choke job by the Celtics in round 1.
All right, zero accountability. That certainly seems to be part of the theme there. But did they take too many threes? Did they fail to adjust offensively when they could have adjusted offensively and won the game?
Yes. The answer is yes. We had this concern when Embiid came back, and Joe sat there and said, well, they got a trigger, and they found it. It was Embiid, and we got to figure out how to stop it. So I said, okay, when you go dry, like when the Celtics go dry, that's when they lose. What's your counter? They don't have one. Who'd they throw it inside to? No, nobody. What's going to do what we do? We shoot. Barkley's right. Charles Barkley last week was right. They're not fun to watch. They just shoot. Run and shoot. Run and shoot. No offense. 5 spread, baby. Make fun of me for it, though, yeah. Been doing this for 4 years. Yeah. Yep, when they're hot, though.
49 threes in this game.
49.
And they shot 27%.
Do you know how hard it is to take 49 threes in a game? Do you have any clue how hard that is to do? I mean, it's literally like every time. Every shot's a 3. Like, damn. In essence, those missed threes become turnovers because it's long rebound transition. Other team is in transition off long rebound. Maxey's sitting there licking his chops, waiting for the rebound. Let's go. Let's run. I mean, shoot threes all day. I'll take it to the hoop.
We've had multiple postseasons now where I think you have to look at this and go, well, wait a second here. Is the margin for error with the way that we play when we're talking about best of 7 series make any sense whatsoever? And what's the counterpunch if shots aren't going in? Because, all right, over an 82-game schedule, fine. Maybe it makes sense and things even out. But in these short series, you have to have a counterpunch to go to if shots aren't falling because you don't have that much wiggle room if it's not working for you. And it hasn't now for 3 series where you've been a heavy favorite.
I think they play hard all year, and I said this last week. I said they play hard all year to their own fault because they all want to play. There's no load management with this team. I respect that. Other teams cruise. I think other teams show up, guys like Steph Curry and them. I don't care if we win tonight. All right, we'll get to the play. Like, then they crank it up. Philly seems like a team that cranks it up. You watch that game, again, you said, wow, one team looks old and the other team looks young. And you're younger than them. You're in your prime right now, man. Tatum and Brown, these are your years. And the Beatles point bringing it up, like, they didn't win enough. You're going to go down in history as being that team that did not win enough with a super team. Now you want to go get Giannis and bring him in here?
The thing that blows my mind is that both of their comebacks in both the second quarter and the fourth quarter featured a bunch of 2-point field goals. Their comebacks were powered by that. And getting to the line. Getting fouled.
Yeah.
And then they get away from it. And I don't know why. And at the end of that run in the second quarter, I think it was a Derek White 3 that put them ahead? Yep.
Yes. Yeah,
and I feel like that's the thing that in their minds is like, see, we hit the 3 and we took the lead. Like, okay, but how did you get back in position to do that?
Right.
You hit a bunch of 2s. Right? And in both of their runs in the second and fourth quarter.
They don't look at it that way. They look at it as White's getting hot.
It's like the way you got yourself back into the game both times is the thing you should have kept doing.
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen? And I know a lot of people blame Joe Mazzulla for that. I think there should be a bigger concern about and this team and this franchise, and that is they all believe in it top to bottom.
Yeah.
And we know, I think Brad Stevens is a huge Mazzulla guy.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't think Mazzulla is getting fired. Maybe
he ain't going anywhere.
I don't know. I don't think he's going anywhere.
No.
But they organizationally believe in that, and I think their players buy into it too.
Yep.
I think their players believe it. Is anyone forcing players to take the shots from where they take them? To revert back to that?
I've been saying this.
But it's also fun to play that way, right? So if you're a player,
right,
it's great. Yeah.
Right. But so maybe it's just like the ability to do it in
green light. Yeah.
And you have the green light at all times, and you'll never be criticized for that.
Green light to take the 3 at all times. I've been saying this for 4 years, and I get laughed at.
But I think from top to bottom, they believe in it. Tatum likes to play that way. Brown likes to play that way. This is who they are.
Fowler, pull up some missed threes. And I want to see the guys that miss threes. How many just stand there and watch it? Show me one that tries to go after the ball, go after the board. It's shoot and stay out there. Like, don't ever go inside the arc. There's one. Miss. Okay. Kate is under there. That's right. But he's a big guy. Here's another miss. 3 Sixers jerseys. Ooh, good swat. All right. Let's see if we get a miss here.
This is going to be the Pritchard 3. Yeah.
Good look.
Man,
3 rebounds.
From that angle, that shot is worse than I thought it was.
Yeah.
That's a bad shot by him.
You thought that was a bad shot by Pritchard?
No. The look was good. The idea was good. The shot itself was. It missed. It missed from that. We're looking at some reverse replay angles right now.
It's all
it
Sixers
missed
in the
worse
paint.
than I thought it did. I thought it was a better shot itself.
Oh, you see his
the idea was right. I have no issue with that 3.
No. But the point is he misses it, and there's 3 white jerseys in the paint getting a rebound. You got no second chance looks. It's a turnover.
Let's grab your calls coming up on the other side. 617-779-0985. Headlines right now with Tim McCone.
Zoe and Beetle are back with more
Harlan Class of New England.
Yep.
on the Sports Hub.
How you kind of navigate one, doing what you did, and also kind of being
I mean, that's a great question, and I think in a lot of times in the world today, it's an either-or society, but there's a duality to everything. And, the year we won, I felt just as empty as we did when we lost. And the duality of going after something bigger than yourself with a group of people is you're always going to have, there's 2 sides to every coin, and you have to, when you go after greatness, you have to accept the other side of that. And too many times, it's all about winning, but you have to surrender to the idea of when you're going after that, you're going to fail. And we've failed by not winning, but we stick to the process of being able to do that. But I think that's just kind of the duality of how things work. It's not an either or thing. It's both and you feel both of those things.
Joe Mazzulla, who says he feels just as empty this year as when he won a title, which I guess is to say he feels nothing at all. How does that play after losing a Game 7? And how does that sort of a lack of emotion show up in a Game 7? Do you think the players were as emotionally invested as they needed to be in Game 7?
No, I got a picture from somebody that I know, a good friend. He sat front row under the bucket, took pictures of the bench multiple times. He said it looked like they were gassed, no emotion. Could see it in their faces third and fourth quarter. No shot. Hands clenched. I guess that's it. You sit on the bench at basketball. What else are you going to do? You get up and wave a towel? But this guy played professional ball. You see it in the face. You read people. And I do think the team should have said we held Jayson out. I think it's a bad look for them to put him up there and have him explain it. Because when you go up there and say, I know for sure, 100% that I could have played the next series. But he just couldn't have played in Game 7 at home. That's bad. It's a bad look.
You're focusing on a guy who didn't even play in the game.
Oh, I am. I'm looking at everything. Joe's talking about duality.
I'm talking about the guys who
Joe's
were
talking
playing.
about duality. How
about the guys who were playing? How about your guy, Jaylen Brown? You think he looked good these last several
he
games?
looked like crap.
Did he disappear? Did he pull a great disappearing act?
He disappeared. He helped bring him back in the damn game when things were dire. He was one of the few.
Not good enough. Not good enough.
Fair. What's your duality? You feel the same after Game 7, catastrophic loss at home?
I think that doesn't play well because the people that paid to be in those seats in the arena are emotionally invested.
Right.
And feel crushed and devastated that the Celtics, for the first time in their storied history, blew a 3-1 series lead, and they lost to the 76ers in a playoff series, something that had never happened in my lifetime.
82 was the last time?
Yep. Never seen that before. That's now happening.
I thought the Garden was a tough place to play.
And it wasn't. It wasn't a tough place to play.
They've lost 2 of the last 3 there.
It wasn't
closed out.
It wasn't. Embiid came to town and he owned the Celtics again.
Limping around.
That's what happened.
That guy.
And pulled off
Telling the crowd,
a massive comeback in this series.
Telling the crowd, shut up.
Massive comeback. And so I don't think it plays well. I think people hear that and they say, what do you mean? How could you feel nothing? How could you feel empty by this? Because fans don't feel that way. And they don't feel that way when you win either.
You can't say that. when you take the trophy and you parade around town with it through the north end, and you're so happy to do it with your family, like, you can't tell me you feel that way the same way you felt the other way the other night. That doesn't jive. If I was him, I wouldn't even want to go to the podium the other night. I don't want to go because I'm in shock. I'm in shock how poorly we played.
I don't think anybody there sounds all that torn up over them losing this series. I think a big problem here, whether it's the Twitch or it's Mazzulla or it's Tatum talking yesterday about looking forward to building up his calf. Like, it's been a weird 48 hours here with this team. Not even 48 hours.
But say what you want about Brady. He's a jag-off after games, okay? He tucks head. He runs in the locker room because he's so pissed off he lost.
Like Belichick was a giant baby.
Yeah, big bitch.
Right?
You know why?
Because he just hated losing.
Because they love winning.
But at least you knew he hated losing.
Yeah.
You always knew that.
Oh, you can sit here and call them dicks for doing it. No doubt about it. But, man, hugging and high-fiving and that, it's like the handshake line in hockey. That bugged me at the end of the game.
I want to grab some calls.
Everybody acted all chubby.
Let's go to David. He's in Boca. David.
Hey, guys. One name you guys have not mentioned yet that I believe is the biggest problem for why we are in the offseason now is the owner going from the second luxury tax to all the way under. Even if we had Simons instead of Vucevic, you probably win this series, I would say. So I just think this one's on Chisholm ultimately, and hopefully they go into the tax this summer.
Is it on Chisholm or Brad?
Chisholm.
Chisholm's the owner. He decides how much they're going to spend.
Oh, I understand that, but Brad looks a guy like Vucevic. Can he come in here and do what Porzingis?
Those are two separate conversations because I'm sorry we did not come into this series talking about, this roster is undermanned and they have got no shot because the owner cheaped out. That's not what the discussion was going into the series, and it shouldn't be the one now.
Number 2 seed without Tatum.
Yep. You're telling me you couldn't win with this roster in this series? What? They could have swept them and should have swept them.
Yes.
That's the truth. It has nothing to do with the roster being too cheap or not enough, or Brad Stevens' decisions to trade Simons and have Vucevic, who was benched for Game 7.
The Sixers or Knicks might win the whole damn thing. Think about that. Think about how crappy you're going to feel then.
Well, I just have a hard time saying, by the way, too, like, Embiid flipped the series, and what are you going to do because Embiid came? Well, then don't blow Game 2 and shoot 53s in Game 2 and play with your food like you have done in past postseasons. And now 3 of the last 4 years.
You got to take it.
Last 3 out of the 4 years, you have lost to inferior teams in the postseason. And at some point, there has to be an adjustment with this franchise because it hasn't been good. Yes, you do have that championship, no doubt. But 3 of the 4 years, you have flamed out, like in spectacular fashion.
Can we talk about that starting lineup for a moment? What was the point of that? Does anybody understand that? What did I say about Ron Harper Jr.?
Guys that gave effort?
What did I say about him the other day? I said,
Derek White, University of Colorado.
Baylor Sherman, Creighton University.
Ron Harper Jr., Rutgers.
Jaylen Brown, California, Berkeley.
Luka Garza, University of Iowa.
Thank you. Pull that from the broadcast. Thank you.
I can't believe they even had Ron Harper Jr. make that video, by the way. I can't believe that. I would have thought you would have been like, we're good, Ron. We don't need to worry about that.
Yeah,
You're
where
all set.
was that?
Yeah.
Where was that in the files? It was AI. They made an AI version of him. Ron Harper Jr. in the line. I said the other day, I said, when you see Ron Harper Jr. on the floor, you know the game is over.
Whoops.
Then they put him in the starting lineup. Yeah. Whoops. Joe, really?
Remember sometimes Sunday Night Football would just show the picture of the guy?
Yeah. Part of me wondered, like, is that an FU to everybody who doesn't believe in them? Is that a we'll be fine, look at this? What was that? Was there some sort of message there? I know that after the game was just trying out some things defensively. Okay.
For 4 minutes.
Yeah. John's in Connecticut. Hi, John.
Hey, guys. Yeah, no, you guys just played Mazzulla's, I think, bizarre, like, esoteric quote. Like he's sitting in front of Walden's Pond talking about winning and losing. I mean, how are you going to win with a coach like that? I mean, and then he says in the end, basically, we failed by not winning, but, we followed, but in a way we won because we followed the process. The process sucks. And they're not going to win another championship unless they get a coach in there that gets Tatum and Brown to stop worrying about who's the man, and they both get on board and say, hey, let's win some championships. Let's find the best way to do that. If they don't find a coach to do that, they're not winning another one.
Well, see, here's the problem, John. You think it's the coach. I'm telling you, it's the entire organization top to bottom. So if you think firing your coach is going to change that, it's not. It's not going to change.
Sam Cassell thinks that way. Brad Stevens thinks that way. The scouts think that way. Everybody thinks that way. The players think that way.
If you want that changed, you're going to need to tell Dollar Bill Chisholm he needs to start over from scratch and rebuild the Celtics without Brad Stevens. That's what he's going to have to do.
I remember when I was in high school.
I mean, you can say it all you want. I don't see that happening. It also hurts that he's a brand new owner and doesn't know what he's doing because he's a brand new owner. That's what it comes down to. He's never owned an NBA team before.
It's the Moneyball thing to me, too, which is kind of inexcusable, where we talk about this, right, with Billy Beane and talking about how you can kind of game the system for a regular season in a huge sample size with the numbers, right? And it certainly plays out that way in the NBA in the regular season. But Billy Beane used to say, too, once you get to the postseason, the sample size is so small, throw it out, and it's just kind of what you can't really do anything about it. It is what it is.
I think it's a crapshoot.
Why, if you have the better team, are you playing that way where you're making it a crapshoot? You should not be playing that way. You should have something else to pivot to rather than just jacking up 53s and hoping that the numbers play out that way. Because 3 out of the 4 last years, it has not played out that way. And you've lost with the better roster in those series.
They're losing too many. The context of their championship is growing, and it looks worse.
That's the outlier.
Isn't that weird?
Yes.
I mean, what faith do you have after seeing this, that this group and those two superstars together are the answer? Do you have a lot of faith in that right now? I don't. You really like scratching that mic today. What the hell are you doing over there?
Stuff sticking out all over it.
I think you had like Ritz crackers that you were just spreading it. Yeah.
My man's having a day over there.
Summer's coming.
Yep. Okay. More of your calls on the Celtics and more of why you thought this went the way that it did. Coming up next.
No matter where.
Smoking meats in the Fenway.
No matter when.
Here we go. Ad-lib time.
That's awesome.
Zolak and Bertrand, the Sports Hub.
Jason, I know after Game 6 you weren't overly concerned. You thought you were going to play in Game 7. What happened after that? And, what were some of the risks in potentially playing in Game 7 that they explained to you? And what's the outlook like going forward after this injury?
Yeah, it's just, with the staff and the medical team and Nick, they just kind of assessed, everything that was going on. And, I'm still in the window. I was in the window of return to play protocol, and there were just certain rules and a plan that ultimately that we had to stick by.
We talked a few times about the unfortunate timing, obviously, of this happening when it did. Do you have a sense of if you'd have been available to play like tomorrow or this week, or did you guys get that far as what it would look like after yesterday?
It was definitely a day-to-day thing. So, it sounds pretty vague, but, it was just something we would have assessed from day to day. It wasn't like a long-term thing. Like, I know for a fact I would have been able to play this, if we'd have made it to the second round.
Jayson Tatum yesterday.
Don't talk.
Why?
Day-to-day. Day-to-day, Game 7.
He didn't say he'd be playing Game 1, did he?
Said he played the next series.
He didn't say Game 1. Did he say right away? He's coming back tomorrow?
Game 1 is the Game 1 of the next series.
I guess you're...
Next series, they're all games. He didn't put a game on it. He did say he's day-to-day. Just wasn't ready to go yesterday. Coach said day before he's going to play next day. A lot of communications must have really gotten screwed up there. The best player day-to-day didn't play in Game 7.
It's unbelievable.
He said it.
Wait. So now you're all about him being the best player after like 5 years of telling me how great Jaylen Brown is and how he's your guy.
I'd keep Brown over him in a
second. Right. You've got nothing to offer on Jaylen Brown disappearing in Game 7?
I'm quite clear. I'm quite clear on Brown. Oh, he's out there pushing. I bet what's he on the injury report for? Achilles tendonitis or whatever that is? I'm sure that's not like 100%. I'm sure that's day-to-day. He pushed through on Game 7.
If he's still in the window, like he was just talking about there,
yeah,
Again, I go back to Joe Mazzulla. Why are you playing Jayson Tatum 41 minutes a night in this postseason? Why are you pushing it? By the way, one of your strengths has been the bench all season long.
First time I heard about
So why not keep him in the 30-minute with 30, 35 minutes?
He was cleared. Then they slowly increased the minutes. He was cleared.
Slowly increased it to a point where all of a sudden now he's out with Game 7.
Did you hear the window talked about the last month and a half?
They've never talked about the window, though.
I talked about it last night.
Yeah, I never heard about that.
Now all of a sudden we got a window.
I don't fault them for it. He shouldn't play, by the way. The guy just blew out his Achilles. He's got a tight calf.
I understand.
He even says one calf's 85% of the size of the other one.
Are we not communicating?
I don't know what Joe was doing there. Was Joe just saying that because he didn't want the Sixers to know that Tatum might not play? Like, I have no idea what Joe Mazzulla's whole thought process was there. But I have a hard time putting that on Jayson Tatum when he comes back to play in this game, in this season, and now he's not ready to go for games. I don't fault him for not playing in that game. I don't.
But no, get all over Tatum for saying that he believes he would have been able to play in the second round. Not the fact that
definitely
in defeat, Jaylen Brown is saying Embiid's a flopper. The refs have an agenda against him. This was his favorite season. Favorite season. This was the favorite season.
Yeah, you get to play.
Well, I just think that tells you what that player values. Yeah. And I don't think it's the right things.
Well, he's done it all here. Now he's looking for other things to achieve.
And maybe Tatum's a little too happy with the fact that he came back. And so for him, it's like, whatever, no big deal. I came back. I made it back. But these guys just squandered a massive opportunity. And really nobody involved seems all that upset. Coach is not all that upset. Tatum didn't seem all that torn up over it. And Brown is having a hell of a time. That's the flopping Embiid, the refs, and I had a great year. My favorite year ever.
Summer workouts with each other start soon.
You think this is going to work moving forward? I've never been one of the blowing up people. But this reaction to them losing this and blowing it and blowing a 3-1 lead, F it, blow it up. They're not going to win a title like this anyway. Forget it. They're lucky they got the one. Look at 3 of the last 4 years. The title keeps going into context. They're just not good enough. And they don't have the right approach and they don't have the right attitude, apparently. Whole thing sucks. Like, when this stuff happens in sports, you've got to look at the makeup of what you've got, because how does that happen?
I'm so with you. It should be like a foundational, like we have to look at what we're doing here. Readdress everything.
Everything has to be looked at because we're doing something really wrong. Because the only way with a superior roster coming into a series against Philadelphia in which you were heavily, heavily favored, do you blow a 3-1 series lead? That doesn't happen by accident. That doesn't happen just because Joel Embiid tried to turn it on.
Right.
No, that means like the fabric of what you've got going on is damaged.
I don't mean to cross sports here, but it's got a Red Sox feel to it that we're going to do driveline, we're going to do our analytical stuff. We believe in the way we're running this baseball team. You're either in with us or you're out. We're keeping the guys that are in. And at some point, it doesn't work, and you got to change from it.
And the teams that believe their process is right because they're trying to solve a math problem, and they treat the whole thing as a math problem, deserve what they get. And so the Celtics right now deserve what they get. They deserve this. They deserve to blow that thing. The Red Sox, where they are, they deserve where they are. It doesn't happen by accident. And this didn't happen by accident to them. It's still stunning. I still can't believe they didn't get through. I still can't believe they managed to do this.
With the path that's there.
Yes. Steve's in Boston. Hey, Steve.
It's unbelievable.
Hey, guys, the problem with the Celtics, it's a leadership problem, and the coach is the leader. He can't make decisions and change any tactics. But don't worry, he's got the championship for beating the press in games. He's all happy about that. But winning the NBA title, that's no big deal. As long as he got the trophy for beating the refs. I mean, the press in basketball games. That's all that really matters to him.
I totally follow everything he said there.
She's saying, Joe, it matters more to him to burn a full court press and come up with plays and stuff against a team of press people to cover.
They did
the thing instead of these type of games.
No, he'd rather beat B-Rob. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the score? 40,
Oh, I'm
44?
sorry. I get what he's saying. Now I understand what you mean.
Press, the people that cover it.
He's more interested in the games to play.
Yeah, full court trap.
And in that, which, okay. Harry's in the car. Harry.
Hey, Beetle, I hate to say this, but you were right about most of this stuff, you know? But first thing, I'd like to congratulate McCone. That's a good time he ran in the marathon.
Oh, he did an excellent job in that marathon. He hasn't gotten nearly enough praise around here.
I think I'd take to run it.
Yeah.
Too.
If I didn't train next year, could I beat it?
You what? What's that, Harry?
I ran 30 marathons.
Wow.
And that's a good time. As you get older, man, it takes longer. But Beetle, you were right. I hate to say this, you were right about everything, even though last week Zoe called you a dick. He was probably right about that. But one thing,
I didn't fight that.
This is the worst week that I ever had. I've been watching sports my whole life. A Boston sports team, Bruins Friday, Sox Saturday, Sunday, Celtics. It was the worst. So the only thing I can think of is, Beetle, cheer us up. Give us a little Joe Castiglione at Shaw's. All right, thanks.
Harry, he was back in the booth yesterday. Oh, was that a treat, having him back in the booth on a Sunday. I texted everybody on the show right away. Castig alert! He's back in the booth today. They're the best.
Where's the home plate umpire from? Cuba?
Cuba. He told me in the first 30 seconds of the game. It was tremendous. Talking about the Astros hitting coach, talking about the umpire, talking about it all. It just flows, man, when he's there. He's got stuff to do. Willie McCovey, a nice Yordan Alvarez, Willie McCovey comp right out of the gate.
Love that.
You think you're getting that with those other squares they put in that booth? No way.
Squids.
No way. All right, Harry, what should we talk about if we're joking?
I'm going to that one.
What's a good food to eat after you lose, though?
Cheeseburger.
A cheeseburger.
Smash burger. Yep. Extra cold ketchup. Some fries.
Ground beef. 80-20. Just $3.99 a pound. Only at Shaw.
Got to put the onions on there, too. Sliced thin.
Oh, yeah. Vidalia onions.
Sweet ones.
$2.99 a pound. I don't know. What do onions go for by the pound?
How about 69 cents?
What's that?
69 cents.
No.
Yeah.
No, way more than that.
No. It's an onion.
Come on.
69 cents.
Well, that's in the weird.
Grab one.
When you get to that, when you get to onions,
yeah,
like that's in the weird. Are we selling it by the onion or are we selling it by the pound?
By the onion.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Because I don't want 20 onions sitting on my counter.
Right.
They'll go bad and then the fleas everywhere.
Right now at Star Market, yellow onion, 74 cents each.
Thank you.
See, they're selling them by the onion, not by the
each,
pound.
they
by
say.
Each. Just 74 cents an onion. If you haven't cried enough about the Bruins and Celtics, you can go home and slice an onion. I'm just not in the mood for it today. But
Seafood Tower gone at the Bruins game.
Not there? You couldn't get one?
They redid that whole bar. There's no raw bar. It's just a bar.
Oh man. What'd you go with then? What'd you do?
Depressing.
What'd you eat?
Had to eat what they had.
What was it?
A little piece of Sal pizza as a chicken finger and ate the corn dip.
Corn dip is
with
good.
a spoon.
Yeah, good. Not your fingers this time, which is
they're not
better.
They still sell the Sal's Pizza by the yard. See those things?
Yeah. Why do I need that much pizza?
The Sal's Pizza at Gillette is better than the Sal's Pizza at the Garden.
Okay.
The Garden, it's very small little squares. Sal's Pizza, they're individual massive slices at Gillette for $14.
Sal checked in on the influential people in Boston list.
Did he?
Yeah.
What about Ron and Emma? Did he check in?
Here are the headlines. We'll be right back in 90 seconds.